Alright YouTube, what is going on? It's ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you another episode of Another Brick in the Mall. Today we're going to go ahead and build a restaurant. So the first thing I want to do though is go ahead and continue to expand my shop, and that's what I've done a little bit. We're going to go ahead and make a new checkout area. During today, you didn't see it obviously, but it was an absolute bombshell. If we look down here, then there was 2 occurrences of people leaving because of no restaurant. That's not the important one. It was round about 7 o'clock. The amount of people we had in our shop was like I'd never seen before. It could have been close to that 100. I don't think we got that objective, but it was 70 at once, because that was definitely our most. So we also had 14 occurrences of people leaving because the checkouts were too full, and we had 7 checkouts open. I've now gone ahead and made the modification to have 8 staff on. However, I want to have even more. So how are we going to deal with this issue? Well, it's going to be quite easy to deal with actually. I'm just going to go ahead and create a different road. So we jump in here and we go to build, we jump into roadwork, and we jump into road. We're going to build a road right up here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use this as a divider, and then the restaurant's going to be across the road in this square. Or we're not going to build that section there actually, or you. We'll go ahead and build down there like that. And that works out nicely. So the restaurant is going to be in here essentially, and along with that we'll add in more parking, so on and so forth. So we'll extend you there. The parking is not doing too bad actually. For every one person there should be 1 car in this game, near enough, as you can see as people get out and get in. So it's not like people bring families or anything like that. So I do need a decent amount of spaces, but we're not really going above that 70 mark right now. So in general I think we seem to be fine. What I need to do though is just add in more checkouts. You see how busy this place gets. It looks like we've got 8 cashiers on, so all of our tills or checkouts, whatever you want to call them, are in operation. However, that needs to be better. That really does need to be better, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and deal with now. I also need a lot more staff parking. I need a lot more different things. I need a lot more of everything essentially. So let's jump back in here to build, jump into objects, and then go ahead and get myself some checkouts. So we're going to go ahead and add in 1, 2, 3. Should we add in 4? Is that too many? No, I don't think it is actually, but should we add in... Oh, I don't know. That's the thing, I really don't. Let's add in... Yeah, I think we are going to add in 4 actually, and that also still means that there's still some room in my shop for people to go ahead and maneuver around if they want to. Let me go ahead. We're probably going to get rid of some of this stuff actually. I'm going to need more fridges. I just get that strong feeling. We can go ahead though and add in a double door up the side here as well. I think that's maybe a not too bad idea also. So we'll add you in roughly about there, I think. We're not going to build a car park up here right now because I don't really feel there is much needs at this stage anyway. But again, things might change. Actually, I might just go ahead and do that. You know that. No, I think I'm gonna... Oh, but I want the restaurant to be close, don't I? Yeah, we'll leave it for the time being. So those tills are now also being used as well, which is kind of interesting. I do want to go ahead and continue to build some more fridges though, because everything seems to be coming out of a fridge right now. Fridges are just the most popular, and they seem to be the most best thing we have going. If I jump into my needs very quickly, you can see that I'm meeting most of my needs actually. I'm doing much better, but fresh meat... The amount of, I don't know how many we've got, but the amount of fresh meat display cabinets I've got is ridiculous, and same with fresh fish as well. Very strange. Those are the 2 which are probably the most highest in demand. Fresh bread as well, that is one which is extremely in demand too. Those are, the bread's an essential. I wouldn't necessarily say the fresh fish or fresh meat are, but they're just, they're just demanded so badly, and I really do not know why. We'll also add in another, I think, frozen pizza into here as well, and that works out quite nicely. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my attention. The shop's doing quite well, and I can't really fault it. I think we'll maybe actually start off by hiring some more staff. Stock clerks, how are you guys doing? I think you guys are doing fine. I could do with maybe more janitors, that's definitely for sure, so we'll go ahead and work on that as well. I think I just need more cashiers, that's really what I honestly need. Stock clerks were doing fine. The shelves are looking, I can't see much. There's 1 or 2 things which could be filled up, for example these 2 right here in the middle, but they're getting filled up relatively fast, so I'll probably just go ahead and upgrade the whole shop. I'll do a bit of everything. So let's go ahead and hire in a few more cashiers. I don't need that many cashiers though, so we'll go ahead and hire in maybe 3. that'll do for the time being. So when abouts do all you guys start? You all default to midnight, which is very annoying. So we'll go ahead and start you off at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll then go ahead and start you off at, there's no need to, I don't need any more during the night, that's for sure. We'll go ahead and start you off at 6 AM, and then we'll go ahead and start you off at probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon there. So there we go, so that's us up to 9. That's us going to have a lot more, which is good, so we'll be able to handle any more demands we get. The car park, we're still struggling to get above 50 people. I don't think we've had more than 70 customers in our shop at once. That is something which I'm wanting to break this episode. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is start to build our restaurant now. So let's go ahead and start off by building you over here. So I'm going to build the foundations. It's going to be quite a large area here. So this is going to be we're going to do maybe a 25 by 25 actually, so it's going to be a big restaurant, and we'll see how we do there. What's my next research thing? I'm currently researching clothing supplier. We also got chemical. What did that? Oh, that gave me a lot of good stuff. I can see the shop getting expanded even more, by the way, I'm not going to lie. Especially now that we've got more items. So let's go ahead and add in a lot of this stuff. I'm really not going to have room for a lot of this stuff, to be fair, actually, so I could see, yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and expand this store as well. So there's going to be lots of building for the time being. I also need to go ahead and, as I said, hire a janitor while I still remember as well. So we need a few janitors, that's really what we need. So we'll go ahead and hire you, Joe Ray, because you seem very good at your job. So we'll go ahead and push you back, so that means there's always one janitor on. However, I need to go up and beyond, especially during the day now. So we'll go ahead and hire you. If you start at 9, that's quite good, but we'll go ahead and start you for 6. Then we'll go ahead and hire another janitor, and you are literally perfect. Melina Combs, you are wonderful. We'll go ahead, if someone starts at 6, and we'll start another one at 4. So the majority of the day there's 2 on, and then overnight there is only 1 person, which works out fine. So with that done, I'm going to go ahead and also add in more foundations onto the back of the store here. So it's not going to be that a large upgrade, but it is going to be an upgrade nonetheless. We've now also over here got ourselves a restaurant built, so we're going to go ahead and start to work on this a little bit too. So I want to go ahead and add in roads, and I'm going to go and add in some loading zone over here because you'll need some storage. You'll also need some garbage pickup. Then you'll need some staff parking as well along here. This is where the new staff car park is going to be. Then at the other side, I'm going to go ahead and add in customer parking. I'm just pre-building here for the future, something I always like to do, and you'd notice I do it if you watch a lot of my different series. So that is that getting built there. The next thing I need to go ahead and do is actually define this area. So if we jump down here to fast food restaurant, then we require a lot of different stuff. It requires also a storage room as well, which is interesting. So we're going to go ahead and jump back out here. We're going to jump into walls, and we're going to go ahead and add ourselves the storage area in right here. We can go ahead and delete that small line there. So going to be quite a small storage area. It doesn't really need to be anything that large though. We'll also probably need a restroom too. So we can go ahead and add that in, though that doesn't need to be anywhere near as big. So you can fit in along there like that, nice and easy. Next thing I need to do is actually start putting objects into this place. Most importantly, doors, so people can actually get access into my restaurant here. We'll have another door as well opposite our shopping shop. I don't know, it's not really a mall right now. I was going to call it a shopping mall, but it's really not. It's just a shop essentially is what it is right now. Let's also go ahead and jump back in here. Let's remove this wall because we're going to go ahead and continue to expand. We then need to go ahead and jump in and add in more floor tiles. Go back for the cream floor tiles because essentially this is now all parts of the larger shop. The shop just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It really doesn't stop growing. Then let's go ahead and assign. Let's go ahead and grow this area here like that. Then we're going to go ahead and jump back and we're going to go for objects, and we're going to get a lot more shelves in because with that chemical cleaning, whatever it was, research unlock we got so many new items which need to go onto our shelves. Let's see what they are right now. So they are first aid, for example. We have drugs. I'm hoping that's good drugs. I'm hoping it's not like bad drugs which can kill you, because that would be a bit silly. Tooth care, all this sort of stuff which you'd really expect in the supermarkets. fits in there quite nicely. Is there anything I've missed or anything I've not got one of? I think we're all good actually in terms of that. So we'll go ahead and add in 2 of like soap and shampoo, because I can imagine that'll be high in demand. Also deodorant. I'm just thinking like how often I buy these things. Like, I rarely buy a toothpaste, maybe once every 2 to 3 months or so, because I don't use that much toothpaste. Deodorant's probably every month. Diapers I don't need, but if you're a baby you would need a lot. First aid kits I rarely need, probably 1 a year if that. Like a box of plasters for example. So yeah, it's interesting. We also got pads and tampons at 2, so I think that's good, because they're required monthly. So I think we're fine there for the time being, but I'll come back and see. I think we might need some more stock clerks though, because I'm starting to see a lot more gaps in this shop. So let's go ahead and jump back into here, and let's go ahead and flick over to store. Let's jump into staff and stock clerks. I'm definitely needing quite a few more of you guys. So let's go ahead and grab, I think you seem quite decent. We should have 2 almost working at once actually, but obviously that's not working out. I think I just need another one for the day shift from the 9 till 5, so that works out quite nicely there. There's also someone around the top there. Who are you? You're a cashier who's going home from work. And actually that kind of works, to be fair. If you have to park up the top, then you can come in this door here. Essentially I could go ahead and add in another staff door up here, though that would probably benefit all the staff overall. Everything's going well in our shop, really not gonna lie. We are now selling more than 50 different types of items, which is good to see. We've also unlocked the chemical supplier, as we know. Working towards clothing right now. We've got some clothing racks, so we might as well go ahead and utilize that. Then though I want to go ahead and change over to... There's nothing really that I'm that bothered about unlocking. I've unlocked the main stuff now, but let's go ahead and get on with my restaurants. Very slow start to this, but we are gonna get there. So let's go ahead and add in a storage area first of all, then let's go ahead and add in a restroom next. Then let's go ahead and add in the actual restaurant itself, or it's more of a fast food joint. It's not really a restaurant, quote unquote. I also didn't want to do that either. I wanted to go ahead and expand the other restaurant, so that works out there fine. So let's go back in here to manage, let's go down to a restaurant, and let's go ahead and, yes, we need to hire staff. I need to go ahead and set the storage room for this. So let's go ahead and assign storage, and it's going to be storage room 4, so that works out fine. You're just going to start off being 9 to 5, however that'll change very quickly, and again ideally, I just want this to go 24/7. Right, let's go ahead and start to build. So what do we need here? So we need a cashier, stock clerk, we're going to need... Oh, we need a lot of stuff. We really do need a lot of stuff, so let's go ahead and get this now started. So let's start off with the objects here. So we're going to have like the cooking area over in this top corner. So we need to go ahead and add in some fast food cooking ranges. Then we also need to go ahead and along the top here we'll add in soda dispensers and also fast food warmers. Then along with that we are going to need... It's a lot of different stuff we're going to need in here actually, so that's a good start nonetheless. We can then go ahead and start to work on the toilets as well here. So if we scroll down, let's go ahead and start to add in our toilet cubicle. This restroom is nowhere near as big as the supermarket one, however I still think this one will actually probably get more use, just due to the fact that it is a place where you go ahead and eat and consume stuff, so you're also going to produce stuff, if that makes any sense. So that works out there quite nicely. I'm just trying to think, what else do we need? So we've got access, we need cashiers, stock clerks, we need fast food cooking ranges, which we've got, we need order counters, that's something which we'll need. Yeah, we'll definitely need that. Then soda dispensers, fast food warmers, we've got both of them. So it's just essentially staff and also order counters I need to go ahead and put in. So that's me putting the order counters there, and they're going to go ahead and people basically, it looks like just queue up and go ahead and do that. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and start off our fast food restaurant. So we need some cashiers. We'll go ahead and just start off with 2 I think, because we're only going to be, as I said, doing 9 till 5 for the time being. So actually we might hire 3 because there's 3 decent people here, which I'm happy to go ahead and take. So that's 3 of yous there. We then need to go ahead and hire a cook. So you're a decent cook and that will do me. I'm very briefly doing this. I'm not going into too much detail. You look quite nice as well, Ivana Walsh. We'll go ahead and take you. And then, who else? Who else? I'm thinking of Oliver here. Oliver seems pretty good all round, so we'll go ahead and hire you too. Then finally, stock clerk. We'll probably only need one of yous, so we'll go ahead and I think take... Oh, I don't know. How good is your stock clerk? So 30 compared to 23. I still think I'm going to take Tenny Penny though. That's a classic name, Tenny Penny. So that should be good to go actually as of tomorrow. I don't see why it shouldn't be. We'll just have to wait and see how things go. Looks like we've got some complaints here. It looks like missed sales opportunities in the restaurant, but the restaurant isn't properly up and running, so that's fine. How's our shop doing? Our shop's doing fine. There's nothing really exciting going on. Again, what are we working towards? So clothing supply, we're very, very close to getting that. That'll unlock, or it should unlock now at 6 AM. However, it hasn't, but it's, oh there we go, it has unlocked actually. So let's go ahead and start to get some more clothes onto, or just clothes for the first ever time, onto the shelves here, which is nice to see. So it's good to see now that all these placeholders are starting to get filled up, which is better than before, that's for sure. What's the next thing on the list? Electronic supplier, yep, that kind of makes sense. And it's just going to make its way down the list now, honestly. I really can't see why we want to jump to anything else. Bowling, cinema, we might do that in the next episode, but for the time being I'm quite happy with how things are going. Anyway, so we can see now that we are now into operation, which is good here. So I could maybe see... I'm not really at all sure how this works. I need to work this out myself, so... Yeah, I'm very, very, very confused. I'm very... Oh, I know what I need to do. I've really mucked this up. I've definitely mucked this up really, really badly. So let's go ahead and alter this very quickly. So these need to be in... Also need to add in seating areas as well. I realise I've not done this very well at all. So there we go, I've gone ahead and modified this so it makes sure it actually works. So you order up the top here, the queues can be nice and long though, I don't think they really should be. We then got the cooks area at the back, we've got the stock clerk, we've got the restrooms, got the seating area, and all is good to go there. So that should be totally functional as of tomorrow. The nights are still very, very, like, there's still not a lot. And I understand obviously who wants to go for a shop at 4 AM in the morning, but I still would expect a little bit more use than there actually is. It's maybe only like 2% of what we actually get during the day. Literally, we made like, what? Maybe 30 sales in between midnight and 6 AM, which is just absolutely nothing. Whereabouts are we in sales? So yeah, 600s we're up to, and we're only making like 40 in 6 hours, so it's hardly any at all. Looks like a lot of people are coming over to the restaurant actually, which is good to see. Mainly looks like staff actually for the time being. But let's see if people are happy about this. So, what are you doing? You're queuing, then you're going ahead and getting the food out the dispensers, and then you're sitting down. So yep, the restaurant is totally functional, which is great to see. Stock clerk, do we need to go ahead and add in another stock clerk? I don't know, to be fair. You just need to go ahead and move the food up to where the cooking thing is, and then everything goes into the dispensers. So no, I think everything's good there actually. So that's the restaurant essentially built. I do want to go ahead and make it a little bit funky though with some tiles. That's definitely something I want to go ahead and do. So we'll go ahead and add in some for the kitchen and also for the bathroom. I think that's appropriate. Add that in there. We're then going to go ahead and go with the different kind of grey for the stockroom like before. Then for the shop floor, I think we're going to go for wood actually. Just something a little bit different. We might as well add you in there, and in there. That's just a little bit different, and it looks interesting, that's for sure. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and what is up here? So customers are leaving the centre because they're hungry and there's no restaurants, and that is after 5 o'clock. Understandable, and that is literally what I was about to deal with. We're going to go ahead and extend the hours of this place here. So let's go ahead and slow things down. I at least want it to be later, not necessarily earlier, but it needs to be later going forwards. Let's go ahead and start to hire some more cashiers. So you're definitely going to get hired. Then I think you're going to get hired. Then, this is where it gets a bit shit. We'll hire Andrew, but your cashier level is awful. All of your cashier levels are awful, so we're only going to go ahead and hire 2 right now. What about cook? So all your cook levels are pretty bad as well, to be honest. You're not as bad, but your speed is very, very slow. In general, these are 3 really bad people, I'm not going to lie. We'll hire you actually, because you're not the absolute worst. You're very good, so we'll hire you as a cook. then stock clerk. Yeah, we need probably one more stock clerk, so we'll go ahead and hire Danny, because Danny seems to be pretty good. So all these new staff which I've hired, you're going to go ahead and we're going to open the shop up at 7 o'clock now, and then it's going to run through till I think about 10 o'clock is what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and speed this up so it recloses again, and we're going to have to go ahead and modify the staff timetable. So we're going to have, I need to go ahead and do this quite promptly actually. Well, we're at 1x speed, so I don't really have to. Let's go ahead and filter by cook first of all, because cooks are the most important. So we need one starting at 7 at least, probably do 2 starting at 7, then we'll go ahead and have one starting at, yeah, 9 works out fine, and then we need to have the other 2 starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. And that will work out fine, and that'll cover us all the way up to 10 o'clock at night. So there's a very brief period where there's 5 people on, which there's no need for that. So maybe go ahead and the 9 o'clock worker can start at, or that's not going to make a difference, is it? We'll push the 2 cooks that are going to start at 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, so that means this place can actually be open up to 11 o'clock at night, 7-11 operation, which works out fine. So that's the cooks dealt with. The next thing is the stock clerk. So we have 2 stock clerks. One of these is essentially just going to start at 7, and the other one's going to start at 3 o'clock, and that works out fine. That covers all hours this place is open. The next thing we need to go ahead and do is go for our cashiers. So we've got 5 cashiers. 3 of yous, or at least 2 of yous, are going to start at 7. Then we're going to have the other 2 start at 3 o'clock. And then we're going to have the final person start at 9 o'clock. We'll start you at maybe 10 o'clock instead, so you'll work 10 to 6 the majority of the day. And we don't have a janitor over here actually. I think what janitors do is janitors run the whole, or do I need to hire a janitor for this specific area? I think janitors just work the whole, like both the restaurant and the shop as well, so I think we're fine there. So in general I think we're good to go to return it to ×3 speed. So this place will be opening up at 7 o'clock, and at least it's just got a little bit better hours now going forwards. Turning my attention back to the shop and to the needs right now, as we can see the needs are really filling up. We are snacks, milk. Milk is something, I just need a lot more fridges. I need a lot more of everything, honestly. That's really what I do need. So let's go ahead and just continue to build. That's the bottom line. That's what this game's all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's just building. So let's go ahead and start off by building some more fridges, because that's definitely, fridges and tables is something which we're really requiring right now. I want to leave this area open just in case we need to go ahead and hire any more staff at any point. So let's go ahead and place down some more tables. Then along with that, let's go ahead and add in some more fridges. I'm basically just going back and forward now from these lists, so frozen vegetables, frozen pizza, that sort of stuff. It's not, this sort of stuff I skip because it's not actually that entertaining to go ahead and watch. Add in some more ice cream there as well. Also the fresh stuff, it's highly in demand, so we go ahead and easily do that. The bread is, I don't know why the bread, but the bread is just so badly in demand. That's just the bread for you. But this shop is actually overall getting very busy. As you can see, the restaurant's not that busy. However, it is getting a fair bit of use, which is good. People are using the restrooms, people are sitting down, people are ordering food. There's not really large queues and there's plenty of food, as we can see here. So everything is working smoothly, and that's the transition now into the afternoon, and everything is still fine. Still got plenty of people working here, so there's no real need to go ahead and change anything. I think I do need to go ahead and add in more car parking spaces though, especially over here nearer the restaurant, because that is something which, the car park, we're up at 93 out of 114 actually, so in general we're doing extremely well. So let me go ahead and add in a lot more customer parking. Now I don't think it really matters how close you are to the shop. I think customers are willing to walk any length of distance, which is good. That was something which concerned me a bit at the start, but I don't think it really matters. I'm not 100% sure though, so if you believe or know different, please go ahead and tell me down below. So returning back to the shop, as you can see, this place is absolutely booming. It's pretty insane. However, we are starting to get to the stage now where we are going to have to split our supermarket into multiple individual stores. The reason for this is because I'm just running out of room. I can't keep up with demand. So jumping into here to needs, this is health and beauty. As you can see, we're nowhere near the desired. We then have household items. Similar situation, we're close on dishes, but bar that, all round not very close. Beverages, foods. Food's not bad actually, food's probably our best one, but I mean it could still do with a lot of improvements. You get the point. Tools, for example, so on and so forth. We're nowhere near where we need to be, and we're just really outgrowing this place essentially. So what we need to do now is go ahead and start to create another shop, which is going to be interesting. So I could build it beside the restaurant here, but I'm hoping eventually the restaurant will continue to kick forwards and continue to expand. So I'm going to leave this room here for that hope that the restaurant expands. So we're going to build over again. So it's going to be quite a long way away, and in a sense they are going to be a little bit separate. I also need to go ahead and actually work out how this road connection works. I need to buy this very shortly. So I can click to unlock for 20,000. So there we go. So that should definitely, that's what I'll be needing literally. So one, cars are using that, which is great to see already. And also I should get better staff and a lot more at that. So now let me jump in here to staff, cashier. Yes, that is just what I wanted. So we can do massive expansion now, and that's what I'm going to get started with straight away. So I'm really just going to go ahead and start to build our large supermarket now, like our large mall. That's really what I'm going to do. So because we've got unlimited money, I can actually go ahead and cheat the system here, and that is really what I'm going to do. So if we go ahead and start off by building foundations, that's really what I want to do. Now I could go ahead and build a large square like this, which is something I'm really tempted to do, and I think we will, but we're going to go ahead and once we've built it, we're going to go ahead and cut out of it. That's what we're going to do. So let's start off with 100 by 100 because I think that's probably appropriate. So if we zoom out here and grab, it's a lot more difficult than it looks actually. You got to have a steady wrist. There we go. So that's going to take an extremely long time for my builder to go ahead and build, so there's no rush. But then what I want to do is do like 10 by 10. Take out 10 by 10 at the corner there. Take out 10 by... oh, don't start there for fuck's sake. Of all corners you had to start at, it was the one I was cutting out. Take out 10 by 10 there. It's just going to be the little things like this which is going to make a difference, to make this, just instead of a square, the actual proper mall itself. I would also like to go ahead and carve out part of the inside as well, make it if I could, try and make it into a... sort of like a garden in the middle, but that's going to be extremely difficult. This grand area is going to be basically mainly shops, but we also still need to work and build movie theatres, ticket lobbies, and also bowling alleys. And I heard there's an update inbound for this game very, very shortly as well, so that's going to be extremely useful going forward. One thing I'm noting here is that we are literally, since we've opened that extra road up, everything has hit the fan. So we need to go ahead and deal with this very, very quickly, and that's what I'm going to do at the start of the next episode. This is a long-term project and it's going to take quite a while to be established. So just continue watching this series and then you'll see the progression as I continue on. Anyway, that is it for this video, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into the description below and tell me what I should build next. I will go ahead and consider it and maybe go ahead and build it. And that's it for this video, so thank you very much for watching. My name is ConflctNerd and I'm out.